She woke up screaming, maggots crawling alive from between her legs. This is Blessing's story. A girl who sold one night to save her mother. But what she didn't know was that night, her womb was traded to the gods. And now, something dark is eating her from the inside. Stay with me. The sun pressed down hard that afternoon. Blessing sat at the back of the lecture hall, fanning herself with her exercise book. She hadn't eaten since morning. Her stomach twisted with hunger, but her mind was somewhere darker. Her mother, Mama Nika, coughing blood for 3 weeks straight. The hospital bill was 70,000 naira. Blessing had 2,300 in her account. After class, she dragged herself back to the hostel. Her feet felt like stone. Her roommate Adaze was sitting on the bed, painting her nails, phone pressed to her ear. Adaze was always glowing. New wigs, expensive perfumes, phones changing like the weather. Blessing. She smiled, dropping the call. You look like you want to collapse. You never chop. Blessing shook her head weakly. No money. Adaze dropped her nail polish and stood. Look, babe, you can't continue like this. Your mama is dying. You're here suffering. Yet you still deform Holy Mary. Let me help you. Blessing frowned. Help me how? Adaze grinned. I know one man. Very clean, very rich, very generous. He doesn't ask for nonsense. Just likes clean, respectful girls. One night with him, your mama go feed do surgery and even buy drugs for 1 year. Blessing's heart jumped into her throat. She'd never done such a thing before. Never. But the image of her mother, weak and coughing in that hospital bed, was too strong. That night, after crying alone in the bathroom, she came out and whispered, I'll do it. Just once. A black jeep pulled up outside the hostel around 10:30. Adaze handed her a simple black gown and red lipstick. Blessing's hands shook as she applied it in front of the mirror. She stared at her reflection and whispered, just one night. Just one night. The man inside the jeep was clean-shaven, wearing a gold wristwatch that sparkled even in the darkness. He smiled when he saw her. You're more beautiful then, she said. His voice was deep, commanding. Blessing just nodded, too scared to speak. They drove to a quiet hotel outside town. He booked a luxury room on the top floor, opened the door, handed her a glass of juice. Just relax, he said. I don't bite. Blessing didn't drink the juice. But everything else that happened that night, she couldn't remember clearly. The next morning, she woke up alone. The man was gone. On the table, he left an envelope. 500,000 naira. A small note inside. Take care of your mother. I'll reach out again if needed. She held the money and burst into tears. That same day, she paid the hospital bills. Her mother's treatment started. The cough began to fade, and for the first time in weeks, Blessing smiled. But what she didn't know was that night was not free. Her womb had been sold. 1 month later, Blessing started feeling strange. Itching, a sharp, rotten smell, pain in her lower stomach. She rushed to the clinic. The nurse gave her antibiotics. Nothing changed. 2 weeks later, something worse happened. Her pants were always wet. Not with urine, but with a thick, blackish fluid. Then one day, she went to the bathroom and screamed. Maggots, white, wriggling, crawling from between her legs. She collapsed on the floor. Blessing woke up in a hospital bed. The sharp, White light above made her blink fast. Ades was standing beside her, looking shocked. "Blessing, Blessing," she called, shaking her gently. Blessing slowly turned her head. "I saw them crawling," she whispered. "There were maggots inside me." The nurse nearby looked confused. "Maggots? What do you mean?" But Ades didn't look surprised. She just turned away and bit her lip, like someone hiding a secret. The doctors ran test after test. STD test, negative. Ultrasound, clear. Urine test, normal. Pregnancy test, negative. The results said she was fine, but she knew she was not. That night, while everyone slept, she went to the bathroom again. As she sat on the toilet, a sharp pain shot through her womb like a knife. She looked down and screamed. Maggots, crawling again, slimy, white, alive. She flushed them with a bucket of water, trembling in fear. When she looked in the mirror, she didn't recognize herself. Dark circles under her eyes, dry lips. She looked like someone who had been cursed. She called Ades. "Ades," she cried. "You told me the man was clean. You said it was safe." Ades didn't meet her eyes. Instead, she whispered something that made Blessing's heart freeze.
"I didn't know he still does that." Blessing stared at her. "Still does what?" Ades looked around and leaned closer. "Some girls who slept with him before, they went mad. Others bled till they died. You're not the first." "What?" Blessing gasped. "I thought he changed. He paid me extra to bring you that night. I swear I didn't know. He still..." Blessing slapped her hard across the face. "You sold me out for money." Tears rolled down Adi's face. "I'm sorry, but it was too late. The damage had already been done." Desperate and afraid, Blessing followed her mother's advice and went to see a powerful prophetess in a nearby village. She wore a white wrapper, sat barefoot on a mat, her eyes covered with white chalk. Before Blessing could speak, the woman said, "You carried a demon that night. Your womb has been sold." Blessing's knees went weak. "I didn't know," she whispered, crying. The woman shook her head. "The man you slept with is part of a powerful cult. They exchange women's wombs for riches and political power. It's not ordinary. That night they collected your seed. What you saw, those maggots, they're not physical. It's a sign from the spirit world." Blessing held her chest. "So what can I do?" she asked, shaking. "Please, I want my womb back. I want to be free." The woman looked deep into her eyes. "There is only one way. You must confront him directly. But before then, you must pass through cleansing 3 nights in the sacred stream. If your spirit is strong, you will survive. If it's weak, you may never return." Blessing wiped her tears, stood up slowly, and nodded. "I will go." The journey to the stream had begun, but something else was watching her already. In the dark shadows of the night, it was 4 in the morning. The village was still dark and quiet, except for the sounds of frogs and distant crickets. Blessing was barefoot, wearing a plain white wrapper, walking through the forest path with the prophetess and one other woman, Mama Kachi, the prophetess's helper. They carried a small calabash, a bottle of palm oil, white chalk, a broom made of palm fronds, and an egg. The deeper they went, the colder it became. Blessing held her chest. Her heart was pounding. She had never entered a forest at night before, and now she was heading to a sacred river, Oshimiri Eneni, the river that talks. The prophetess said, "This river sees everything. It knows what happened to you. It knows what was taken. But it can also fight back if your hands are clean." When they reached the river bank, the prophetess knelt and whispered ancient words into the air. Suddenly, the wind blew harder. The trees shook. The water in the river began to swell on its own. Blessing shivered. The prophetess turned to her. "Remove your wrapper. Step into the river. Let it touch your womb." Blessing removed the wrapper and stepped into the cold water. It was freezing. Her teeth began to chatter. Her legs felt numb. Then the prophetess threw the egg into the water and said loudly, "If her womb was sold, let the river reveal it." The egg floated for a moment, then cracked open on its own. Inside the egg was black liquid. The prophetess gasped. "It is confirmed," she whispered. Her womb was spiritually buried. Then she dipped the broom in the river and began sweeping the water around Blessing. As she chanted, Blessing suddenly screamed. A strong burning sensation shot through her stomach. She doubled over in pain, crying. But the prophetess didn't stop. "The spirit is angry," she said, "but we must continue." Just as they were about to end the ritual, a strange voice echoed from the water. "She must return the price or remain cursed." The women froze. Blessing was shaken all over. "What does that mean?" she asked. The prophetess looked scared. "It means the man who sold your womb must return the money he gained, or the curse stays, no matter what we do." Blessing dropped to her knees in the water, crying, "But I don't even know his real name. I don't know how to find him." The prophetess stared at her. "Then you must go back to the one who took you to him, your roommate." The next day, weak and still in pain, Blessing returned to school. Adace was shocked to see her. "Blessing, you left just like that. I've been looking for you." Blessing didn't answer. She walked straight into the room and locked the door. That evening, she finally sat with Adace and said, "I need his name, his full name." Addie's face changed. Fear crawled into her eyes. "I told you, he doesn't like people talking about him." Blessing grabbed her shirt. "I said, give me his name, or I swear, if I die, I'll come back and drag you into the grave with me." Shaking, Ade slowly wrote a name on a piece of paper. Asterisk, Chief Obinna Okafor, asterisk. Blessing looked at the name, burning it into her brain. Now she had a name. The same name the river wanted. The same man who must return the price or she would never be free. Blessing couldn't sleep that night. She lay on her hostile bed staring at the ceiling fan as the name echoed in her head over and over again. Chief Obinna Okafor. A name that sounded like power and destruction. The man who had taken everything from her and disappeared like smoke. She picked up her phone, searched the name online, but nothing came up. No Facebook, no Instagram, no company, no business records. It was like the man didn't exist. But he did. She felt it in her womb. The next morning, she stormed into Adi's room, eyes red with anger and frustration. "Where does he live? Where does he work? Give me something. Adaze looked scared. Blessing, please. I don't want to die. I'm begging you. That man is not ordinary. He warned me never to share his vocation. The last girl who tried to track him, she went mad. Blessing didn't care. My womb is gone, she shouted. He already took everything from me. What else do I have to lose? Adaze hesitated, then finally said in a whisper, he has a private lodge in town, near Hilltop Estate. But security is tight. No one enters without invitation. Later that day, Blessing borrowed a friend's oversized hoodie and glasses, packed a small bag, and took a bike to Hilltop Estate. It was quiet and luxurious. Big houses, tall gates, no children playing around. Everything looked too polished, too secretive. She asked around. Most people just stared or ignored her. But a fruit seller finally whispered, if it's the big house with the black jeep, that's Odogwu's place. But nobody calls him Obinna around here. Odogwu. Blessing repeated. Yes. People say he helped build this estate. Others say he owns it. But strange things happen inside there. Some girls enter and never come out again. Blessing felt chills down her spine. She walked to the tall black gate with gold patterns. Two huge security men stood there. Good afternoon, she said, her voice shaking. I want to see Chief Obinna. I mean Odogwu. One of the guards laughed. You get appointment. She shook her head. The other one said sharply, this is not a church. You don't walk in without invitation. But I need to see him. Please tell him it's Blessing. He knows me. The guards burst into laughter. Go back, small girl, before we help you disappear. They pushed her away and slammed the gate shut. She stood there for minutes, heartbroken. Tears filled her eyes, not because she failed, but because the war had just started. That night at the hostel, Blessing returned quietly, not saying a word to anyone. Around midnight, she woke up screaming. She had a nightmare. In the dream, she was inside a coffin, but the coffin was filled with maggots, and standing over it was Chief Obinna, wearing red beads and smiling wickedly. He leaned close and whispered, I didn't just take your womb, I bought your destiny. She woke up sweating. Her roommate ran to her. Blessing, what is it? She grabbed her Bible and began to cry. I need to go back to the prophetess. I need to go back. This is no longer a sickness. This is war. Meanwhile, far away in a dark compound surrounded by high fences, Chief Obinna sat in a red chair, a glass of palm wine in his hand. Behind him were burning candles and an old shrine. He picked up a goat horn and poured some wine into it. Then he spoke into the darkness. She's awake. She wants to fight. Let her try. But by the time she finds me again, there will be nothing left of her. He sipped his drink and smiled. The battle had just begun. By 6 in the morning, Blessing was already on her way back to the prophetess's compound. She didn't eat. She didn't speak to anyone. Her body felt weak, but her spirit was burning with one desire: to reclaim what was stolen. The journey took over 2 hours, but she didn't care. When she arrived, the compound felt different, quieter, darker, colder. The prophetess was sitting outside already, like she had been expecting her. She didn't smile. She didn't greet. She just looked into Blessing's eyes and said, "He knows you're searching. That's why he's sending shadows to block your way." Blessing nodded, tears gathering. "I saw him in my dream, smiling inside a coffin of maggots. He said he bought my destiny." The prophetess stood. "It's time we opened the truth." That evening, as the sky turned orange, the prophetess prepared a sacred mirror made of goat skin, powdered charcoal, and cow blood. She drew strange signs on the ground and lit 7 red candles in a circle. Then she placed the mirror in the middle and told Blessing to sit. "Do not blink," she warned. "Whatever you see, do not speak until the mirror goes dark." Blessing nodded and stared into the strange object. At first, nothing. Then, slowly, images began to appear. She saw a river, then a girl, naked and shaking, being led by 2 women into the river. That girl was her. Then the image changed. She saw the night she was in the hotel room. The man gave her juice. She refused. But something was blown into her face, white powder. She passed out. Then another image. A small shrine. A man in red beads and black wrapper stood over a clay pot filled with blood. Chief Obinna, he dipped his fingers in the pot, pulled out a tiny image of a womb made from wax, and whispered, "This is my offering. Give me political power. Take her ability to carry children." He buried the wax womb into the soil. Then the mirror flashed again. This time she saw herself older, married but barren, crying as doctors told her she had no womb. Then a voice echoed inside the mirror. Asterisk, "Unless he returns what he took, your future will be full of tears." Asterisk. Suddenly, the mirror went dark. Blessing fell backward, screaming. The prophetess rushed to her and held her as she cried. "I saw everything," Blessing sobbed. "He buried something. He gave my womb to the gods." The prophetess nodded. "Yes. And he paid them with your destiny. That's why nothing has worked for you." Blessing looked up, voice shaking. "Can I still get it back?" The prophetess paused, then said slowly, "Yes. But only if he unburies it with his own hands, or if his blood touches the oath where your womb was buried." Blessing's eyes widened. "His blood," the prophetess nodded. "Either he willingly returns what he stole, or he must bleed on the same ground." Blessing stood up slowly, then whispered, "Then I must make him bleed." Later that night, Chief Obinna was driving home in his black jeep, smiling after a political meeting. As he stepped into his compound, he stopped. On his gate was a red cloth, tied in a strange knot. He walked closer. Written on it with charcoal were 4 words, "I want my womb." He stared at it, then looked around. There was no one in sight, but he could feel it. War had started. Watch out for part 2. The real battle is just beginning. This is not just a story of revenge. It's a fight between darkness and a girl who refused to stay broken. Turn on your notifications. Part 2 will shake you. Don't miss the drama as it unfolds. And remember to like, subscribe, share, and comment.